Hi, in this video I'm going to talk to you about sewing the bottom to your sides. You've finished your sides, you've channel stitched them. The next thing that you have to do is determine if you've got some sort of digital print. You want to determine which end of the sides you want out on the outside. So do you want this one on the outside, or do you prefer to have this end on the outside? Do either, make your decision, and then pin the sides together. And just use a long flower pin. And you want to pin in a couple of places. I'm just going to pin it in one. The next thing is you're going to pin the bottom to your sides. And when you made your template, you drew a little arrow at the center of one side. That's going to represent your center front. So I've stuck a white pin in between the two layers of the bottom to indicate that that is the center front. I'm going to match the center front with this binding that runs from the bottom to the top. And I'm going to pin right through there so that the binding sits right on the center. Then I'm going to continue to pin all the way around, just pinning right through the edge. Remember, there are two layers of the bottom, and then down into the sides. So I'm going to pin all the way around, and I've already done a lot of that. And I'll continue pinning all the way through the end. And you're just going to go straight down, pull that out a little bit more, straight down through the edge of the bottom and down into the sides. One or two more pins should be good, and then one more. Now you have to hand sew the bottom to the sides, and the way I suggest that you do that is you want to use a heavyweight thread, and this is an Aurifil size 12 weight thread. It's a cotton thread. Sulky also makes a 12 weight thread, and that's a very thick thread. So you want to use a double strand, not at the end, and I use a milliner's needle, which is long and thin, and it has a big eye. So start, and now this is a white thread so you can see it. Start at the very center and poke the end out through the top. So you're going to push your needle through the two layers of the bottom and out through the edge of the binding on the bottom. That way you hide your knot. Then you're going to come back out and go through the very top edge of your side binding. Let's see if I can get it in the right spot. There. So that's the top edge of your side binding. Now this is the only time you're going to be sewing through the interfacing. The rest of the time you want to be sewing through fabric only. Now I'm going to remove these two pins so you can see a little bit better. So the way you're going to sew this on is you're going to do a whip stitch. I've come out very close to the edge of the binding on the side. I'm going to go in to only the first layer of the bottom. Go across a little bit, about 1/4 of an inch, and then down to the top edge of the binding on the side. Now I'm going to pull that nice and tight. You'll see some of your stitches, as you can see right there. but not much. Across, down, and oops, pull tight. Across, down, and pull tight. You're going to whip stitch all the way around. When you get to this area right here, you do want to tack this flap or this overlap to this piece right here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, normally you'd be coming from this end. So I'm going to go into the inside and pick the bag up so I can pull that through. Now, to tack these two together, you're going to take some really, really long stitches. So you want to come out with your needle right in the ditch of your binding. Just pull it straight out. Then you want to go to the inside at quite an angle. So if you look at that, that's quite an angle. So these stitches are going to be 1, 2 inches. Let's see if I can get that in there a little bit further. 2, maybe 2.5 inches apart. Now I'm inside, I'm going to come straight out, and I'm going to come out very close to where my stitch came through, so that on the inside of the bag you won't see the stitches either. Coming out, going in at a big angle. You need to get your thread caught on your pins at least once. And then come straight out. Again, you're coming out very close to the stitch on the inside. You'll come straight out. Go back in, big angle. So you're going to move up the side very quickly. Go all the way up the side, all the way along the edge of this binding, and then across at the top. You've finished sewing your bottom to your sides, and you've attached this overlap. The next thing that you're going to do is to make your bow and stitch your bow onto the bag. And the last thing that you're going to do is stitch your handles on the bag, and we'll show you that in another video. All done?